In this video, we're going to focus on how we can create an arbitrary line to make sure that the data set will be behind this line here. So in other words, this line is on top of our data set. As you can see, there we are. So let's start to look how we can draw the arbitrary lines on top of a data set. So we have here this part, this bar chart here. This is a boiler template, which you can find here from chartjs3.com getting started. This specific link, which you can find as well in the description box. Once you're on here, copy this chunk of code and you're good to go. Next, if you want to get the source code of this video and many others, check out my Patreon page and of course join the Discord channel. So what we're going to do is, first of all, let's convert this into a horizontal bar chart because that was a specific case. So we're going to say here in the options, index axis, and then we're going to say here we will be swapping that with the Y. So now we have a horizontal bar chart, and I want to do the following now. I want to have the red, or the number 8, become a red line that will be on top of this entire data set. And of course, I want number 12, a green line, to once we hit that target or something like that. So like two different line colors. To do that, say comma, and then go and say here plugins, and then in here we're going to make an array. And we're going to say here arbitrary line, copy that. Then what I'm going to do here is / arbitrary line plugin block constant arbitrary equals ID of arbitrary line. And then we're going to say here, this is very important, we're going to draw lines that will be on top of these data sets. So after data sets has been drawn, we will draw our plugin configurations. So we're going to say chart, arcs, and plugin options. Then what I'm going to do here is a object destructuring. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say here, this will be the CTX. I'll be needing that. What do I need more is probably the scales. I need to go to the X scale specifically. The chart area can be very useful, specifically the top and bottom. And anything else, not sure. However, if ever, we can always add afterwards. So what I want to do now is say ctx.save to save all variables above. Then what I want to do is start to draw the line. So what I'm going to say here, the line, I'm going to say ctx.begin path. And this makes sure that we're drawing a shape that is independent of anything else. This is a new shape we're going to draw. Let's give it a color. ctx.stroke style. And let's give this the color of red for now. Then what I want to do is the thickness. So I say ctx.line width. I'm going to say here the thickness 5 pixels for now. Later on we can fine tune it to 1 pixel. Then what I want to do is defining the starting point. And the starting point should be, if it's 8, at the very top, all the way going down here. And then even deeper here, the tick marks you can see, we want to cover them as well. So what I'm going to do here is say ctx.move to, and here we put in the x and y coordinates. And the x coordinate in this case, well, let's start with the y coordinate first because that's the easiest one. We have here the chart area, and the top of this here is the chart area top. So basically we want to start from the very top. So we say top because we have that here. Then here for the x is the value that we want to pinpoint, number 8. And we want to convert this number 8 into a pixel on the chart area. So what we're going to say here, x, because it's related to the x scale, get the pixel for the value of number 8. Basically, that's it. Once we did that, we can say ctx.line to. Then we just can copy everything here. However, this is the connecting dot. So what we want to do here is figuring out what do we need to put on the y value now. If we are at the top here, we want to go all the way down to the bottom here. So that's what we call bottom. However, we don't want to do only that. We want to make sure we hit that one. But I'm going to show you later on how to do that. Let's grab this bottom, put it in here. Then I'm going to say ctx.stroke to draw the line that we just created. Alright, that works. So how do I go down here? Well, we know that this tick mark is approximately 8 pixels. So what I can say here, the bottom plus 8. Save that, refresh, and there we are. So now that looks quite nice. If I say here only 1 line width, there we are. And you can see the line is nicely on top. Let's zoom in. You can see it's nicely on top of the entire data set. So what I want to do next is, well, I want to have two items here, another one for green one. But it would not make any sense to copy this, paste this here again, then change here the settings. No, what I want to do is I want to soft code that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a function. So you say here function will be draw a line. And this function will have a few arguments. One of them is the color. And then we have here, or sorry, this is not the argument, this is the parameter, the color, the thickness, and the value. So once we got these, what I want to do is cut all of this, put it in there. And then what I can do is the following. I'm going to copy this, put it in here, and now we can just say here red, which is a string value. Then what we're going to say here, the thickness, that will be 5 pixels, or let's say 1 pixel for now, and the value will be number 8. So what I can do here, color, put it in here, the thickness, put it in there, and the value here. Save, refresh, that works. Of course, now what I want to do is I want to have 2 lines, or you might want to have even more lines. We're going to soft code this. So what we're going to do in here, we're going to put a comma, we're going to say here plugins, and then we're going to do here the following. We're going to grab this ID here, and what we're making is basically a user-friendly version. So we're going to say here the arbitrary line, and in the arbitrary line we have a few options. Number one is the color of the line, which I will make an array. The first one would be red, the second one will be green, then comma, maybe line thickness, or thickness, I guess, something like that. Let's call it thickness. And the thickness will be 1 pixel. And then we have another one is the value, which would be an array again. And this one would be 8, comma, 12. Because those two are the ones that we want to focus on. So we have this. What I want to do now is that once we have these, we grab these values and put it in here. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to say here plugins. We're going to copy that, and to grab, for example, this value, the array of the colors, we can say here the following. Console log, let me just show you. I'm going to say here plugins. Because we have the plugin option here, it knows it goes into this ID. And then we say here dot color, or colors. Let's see what is this. Color. If I save that, refresh, open up the tab here, developer tab, you can see here we get these values. So what I want to do here is the following. Constant, let's say colors equals the plugin colors, or if there's none, I'm just going to give it a default color of black, something like that. And then what I can do as well is the following here is the value. And then we're going to say here the values would be the color, or plugin dot value. Am I correct? Yes. There we are. And that one, if we put in value, if there's none, then we're going to say here null to make sure that we don't have anything at all. There we are. And of course you can imagine then the same with the thickness. We can give it a default value. Thickness, and the thickness would be the value here, I guess, thickness, and that should be default of 1 or something like that. Or if there's nothing specified, just make it 0, so it's hidden. Alright, so now we have this here. And then I guess we should even do an if statement. If there's nothing at all specified, do not draw at all. I guess that would make far more sense. Anyway, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to grab this here. I guess we can just move that. Well, we can leave it in here, but I want to grab here maybe colors. As you can see here, we have these colors. I think that will be fine. What I will have to do here is we're going to grab this. Alright, sorry, I'm getting slightly confused. What I need to do here is a for each value for the colors, or for the values. So I'm going to say here the values dot for each. And then we're going to say here the value comma index. Just put it in like that. And then we're going to say here, we're going to grab this, put that in there. Say for every value here, then we also want to make sure we have the colors. We put in the colors index. And then we have this that should be all correct. If I save this right now, there we are. Of course, I do realize if we have no value here, we get an error or something will not work because we are missing items. What we could do here is probably like an if statement, or if there is no value, hide it at all. I guess that will make more sense. I guess that should be the most logical item. So what I'm going to do here is following. Let's grab this one here. I guess we can make an if statement if the value equals, or if there's no value. In that case, or the value is something. Hold on, let me double. Alright, sorry, I'm just getting slightly confused. So what I can do here basically is the following. I just grab this one here. So if there is no value, what we can do then is do something here, or don't do anything at all. If no value, I guess we can leave it. Else, I'm just going to grab that one and put that in here. So we are making sure that we have the value in here. Alright, so let's see if I save that, refresh. There we are. I am sure we can do this slightly better. It's just getting late for me, so my bad. Anyway, this is basically the way how you can play around with it. You just have to consider what happens if someone will not put a value in here. So if I remove this, save, there you are, we don't get an error. It will hide it all completely. But if they put a value, then of course it should show. That's the way it should be.